Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brightops, and we're going to do a little something different for this particular video. You see, normally, what would happen is I would play an hour or so of Crusader Kings 2 and continue the campaign, but I decided to take an episode, not to or take a little bit of time, instead of doing a proper episode, of going through some of the more interesting developments that have taken part in the world of Azeroth during this, shall we say, alternative timeline. As we can see, we're still over here. We've still got the Black Coast. We've just recently expanded. That's still happening. We just paused the game for now and moving as required. But first things first, developments. Let us start with the Horde. Actually, wait. It might be better off if we start with we start with the Keltorans real quick. Since there is one sad announcement I have to make that I noticed at the end when I stopped recording last time. There is currently a blood plague sweeping through Keltoris, and not only has their Lord Admiral caught it, but it has claimed the life of his youngest daughter, Jaina, who is sadly 6 years old when she passed. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the Warcraft world, Jaina Proudmoore is kind of a big deal, as is simply for quite a few reasons. She effectively grows up to be a mage without equal, to be honest. There's a lot of lore and important shit that Jaina was a part of. And now but in this timeline, she died of blood plague at the age of 6. This is, well, kind of a game changer, honestly. But her two brothers are still alive. Alive and well, so that's all well and good. And her father has not yet succumbed. Oh yes, another little interesting tidbit. We found where the Frostwolf clan has gone off to. They've travelled south into Stranglethorn and taken some land from the Garabashi. But here's a fun little discovery. It's been at least 3 years since the game started, and not only is Chieftain Dorotan and his wife still alive, here's little Goel, or Thrall as he is known in the main timeline, as well as a little daughter. Yeah, Dultan had a daughter, and that means Thrall has a little sister. I have no idea how to pronounce her name, but yeah, there she is. She's a little cutie, ain't she? And let's see, other developments. Ah yes, we'll start with the Horde. We will start with the Horde, because there has been some interesting well, the first thing I should mention is the fact that I have been unable to find Grommash Hellscream anywhere, or really any mention of the Warsong clan. So I'm not sure if that's because they just haven't been added to the game, or if they're dead. Or dead and exterminated. I don't actually know. But with that sad piece of news aside, let us start with Warchief Blackhand, the Destroyer. the conqueror of Stormwind and Shadowforge, and also married to High Queen Adona, who is this low-born human woman, who, honestly, I don't know how this happened. It gets even better when you consider they've had a daughter together. Admittedly, she's sickly, but she's gonna be a looker, and she has human blood running through her. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah, interesting to know is that the Queen hates Blackhand, but the Blackhand is actually rather fond of her. So, yeah, that's just one of those developments that just... when I was just looking through to see, okay, what's happened, just the fact that Blackhand took a human woman as his wife is just mind blown. There is also another development, in that Blackhand's eldest daughter is married to Gul'dan the Cruel, who, for those also interested, Gul'dan is a huge part of the Horde and why this first war happened. But interesting, not only is he married, he's had a daughter of his own. Yeah. Him and Blackhand's daughter had a kid. So, yeah. Granted, nothing's really standing out about her at this time, but Gul'dan's going to be teaching her. And Gul'dan is a Grandmaster Warlock, so... yeah, this is definitely going to be something to keep an eye on from going forward. Let's see. Other developments. Ironforge. Ironforge has just been it's just been a mess. Because not only because King Magni died of an infected wound, and his daughter Myra came back from being the lover of the Emperor of the Dark Irons to become Queen of the Ironforge, as well as marry her uncle Muradin. She is currently pregnant, and this will be her first child. Which will be interesting. It is interesting to say the least. We'll see how quickly inbreeding takes effect. But this is not the only interesting thing about what's happening in Ironforge. Because... let's see, is this it? Nope. Bran. Bran, who is the third... He's basically the third sibling of the three... because there were three brothers. One of Magni ruled Ironforge, but there was Muradin and Bran. Bran has declared a revolt. He has effectively gone against Myri and his brother Muradin, and and from what I can see, the reason for this revolt is to effectively make Bran the king of Ironforge. Just think about that for a moment. Because Bran is an explorer. He is an archaeologist. And he... at this point... and honestly, privately, there are people who kind of... there's this minor headcanon that Bran might actually be autistic. Or have Asperger's to some degree. Just simply for why he has such a love of archaeology. But... for the situation... to have gotten to the point where he has declared that he has launched a revolt to try and displace Myri as ruler of Ironforge. And to be fair, it's a fair bunch of Ironforge has risen up with him. Because he's not alone. He's got a fair number of Thanes and that who have joined him in the attempt. We also have... I went and had a look at Nomeregard, just we can tell Giblin here. He is allied with Myri and the current queen and king of Ironforge, and he's thrown in his lot with her. So he's against Bran, but while the war might still be it seems to be relatively early, Bran is currently leading it slightly. So who knows what's going to happen there? Good God. I haven't noticed anything particularly big with the Wild Hammer, so I've got not a whole lot to say there. And, well, slight development with the Kingdom of Lordaeron. We've got Tanaris II and his son Arthas and Kella, but they do have a third daughter now. They've got not third daughter, third child now, Princess Bridget, who not a whole lot coming out of there, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens as time goes on. Similarly, we have King Gwen of Gilneas, who has also had a third child, Prince Archibald of Gilneas. We also have Liam and Tess, but Archibald. And admittedly, we also have a situation where we have an outbreak of disease in Gilneas, though in this case it's frost fever. And Gen has sort of isolated his court to try and protect himself and his family from, well, being killed by plague. And after having a quick look, it seems that Freehold has been conquered by Murlocs. Yeah. And the Murlocs are now fighting with the Kilterrans to try and hold onto their land. Onto this land. I don't actually know what's happened with that Wogan outbreak, to be perfectly... Because I know that Wogan basically entered the world around Freehold and into Kelteris, but I'm not entirely sure what's happened with that. Which is a thing. Yeah. Although I will admit, just while it's on my mind, with the Black Hand taking a human woman for his wife, it seems to be a trend in the Horde, because a fair few... I've looked through, and a number of his vassals have... Let's have a look-see. Who was it? No, not you. Not you. Ah, yes. Chieftain Gulgal of the Twilight's Hammer. He's around. He's not really... doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot, but he's around. Let's see, where is it? Because I know I saw a couple of... I know that there were a couple of other orc chieftains and all that who have taken, well, human women. But I can't seem to find them at the moment. Let's see... Yeah, I can't find them right now, but I know that there's a couple of other ones here that have taken humans. Let's see, other developments. Well, if we come over to Zandalar, to the Zandalari, God King Rusticon has made a fair bit of a push into Nazmir. There's only really one place that's still technically not under his command. Although, from the looks, if I had to guess, it's going to be a number of years to basically try and wipe out the Blood Troll and Void worship in the area. But they've pushed in that direction and taken it, and it seems that the Sethras, who are snake people in Vol'dun, have also been expanding a bit. Maybe. It's hard to tell, which is the thing. Because we've got... Yeah, we have some of the... We have this... the Sethrisk, just in Vuldun. We also have the Vulpyrin, which I found rather nicely. In fact, Chieftain Korra and Chiefess Nasha. Nasha are here. So, yeah. If we do this again, we might end up going with the Vulpyrin or the Snake People and seeing what we can do. Because that would just be interesting as hell. Let's see. Oh, yes. We have the Dark Spear. Dark Spear as well. So Chieftain Sinjin the Wise is still alive and well, which is not surprising. He isn't murdered for quite a while. We have little teenage Vuljin, who is currently... Yeah, he's coming along nicely. He's strong. He's a strong boy. He also has a sister. Yeah. I have no idea how to pronounce her name, but she's quick. She's 1 year old, but she's quick, which is a promising start. Definitely a promising start. Be interesting to see how Vuljin grows, but that will be another time. Let's see. Ah, yes. One of the things that I noticed was the goblins, because there is a trade coalition with the goblins, I believe. And the thing is that they're having a major revolt. There is currently across the world, in various goblin-held territories, such as Gadgetron, Gadgetzan, and Gadgetzan, Kazan, basically all over the place. There's just a massive goblin civil war, and it is fantastic. Oh, I think that's the isle that they... Well, maybe. It's kind of hard to tell with where the hell certain things are. As for what's happening in Kalimdor at the moment, not a whole lot from what I can understand. Let's see, I'm trying to think of how to word this, because... Let's see, we've got Karn, who is... Ah, yes, I should have checked how the bloody Tauren were doing. So, they seem to be doing alright. They're surviving, which is impressive in and of itself. But the main thing, probably the main real thing I've noticed with Kalimdor is, well, in part how the Night Elves are set up, in that basically there are technically 3 factions of Night Elves. There's one led by Malfurion, there's one led by Tyrande, and there's one led by... Where is it? Ah, yes, here it is. Sarnarius. Though Sarnarius and Malfurion are both subservient to Tyrande's faction, which I just found interesting. But the main thing... Why I bring this up, and to be honest, the Night Elves are doing great. They're... Like, from what I had a look around, pretty much everyone who's not a Night Elf has made a pact against them to try and survive. But the thing that I found interesting, what I found absolutely interesting, is Illidan. Illidan Stormrage is currently leading armies, which is honestly impressive as hell. Because, keep in mind, lore-wise, Illidan is meant to be in an underground vault somewhere. Basically, he's meant to be he's rotting in an underground vault at this period in time. He wasn't let out until Tyrande let him out during the Third War when the Legion was literally invading Kalimdor. So for him to have been released and is now serving as a commander for the Cenarian Circle under Malfurion is huge. I even checked, technically Illidan has his own religion in the Illidari, which, yeah, I wasn't expecting. But, yeah, he's got his own special thing. So good for him. There hasn't really, to my understand. Oh, damn it! I almost forgot. I can't believe this one slipped my mind. But it's not a major thing. It's just something I noticed. But there is a chunk of Ironforge over here that is run by kobolds. Yeah. This particular province of kobolds is subservient to Moira, and they hate each other. They both hate the fact. She hates them, they hate her. Despite the fact that they are a tribute state. Alright, and now the last real bits on the map. Northrend. There hasn't really been any I would call it major developments over here. At least I haven't really been paying attention to this part of the world, so I don't really know any major swings in the balance of power or anything like that. Although there is currently a revolt in the Dyrraki Empire in Zul'Duruk. There's currently a war being fought there. And it is a war against tyranny, so this of the Zul'Dakian revolt has gone against the current High Chieftain, Malak the Drunkard, because Malak is a freaking tyrant. So good for him. Good for him for doing that. And yeah, we're seeing some more Trade Coalition revolts just over here in Grizzly Hills. It is honestly impressive. Just the scale of the Goblin Civil War. Let's see. 2 developments over here that I found hilarious. Well, one is interesting in that the Frenzy Hearts, the little woven, the Wolvar creatures over in the Sholzar Basin, have more or less taken the basin for themselves. They've still got they haven't wiped out the Goloks or anything like that, though they both despise each other. But yeah, the Frenzy Heart have managed to largely take the basin. There's still like 2 spots that are run by humans, but yeah, they're probably gonna work on that soon enough. But this is the part that I just found completely hilarious. This is where this is Kuldara. It is typically the seat of the High Dragon Malagos and the Blue Dragonflight. It is currently occupied by Murlocs. Murlocs literally came in and kicked the Blue Dragons out of Kuldara and managed to keep it for themselves. As we can see that there is a truce about this because the Murlocs won Kuldara. This host of Murlocs, because I've looked around, this is the only place this chieftain has. So he's the leader of this particular clan. It is literally made up of Kuldara. He got a host army and invaded. I just found that goddamn hilarious. But yeah, there's not really a whole lot else to mention about North, for instance. As I said, I don't know a whole lot about what the local power structures is from the get-go, since this is before the Scourge was a thing. So we've got a lot of Vicryls running around Icecrown, though we do have the Nerumians here too. They've got an area called Silent Reach that's under their command. I'm not really sure. Not really sure if there's any major swings or anything, but we'll see where things develop. But yes, I do believe that is. Let's see. Yeah, I'll mention them because why not? We've got the High Elves. We've got Prince Celtius and his dad is still alive. They're currently at war with the Amani trolls and winning. Though the Amani Empire is largely, for the most part, at least the parts near the Elves is still independent. So Zul'jin is still independent, but a fair number of Amani trolls have thrown in their lots with the Horde, just further south. So yeah, this is gonna be a damn interesting war going forward. We also have the Riventusk trolls, who are currently just here on the border, who aren't really... They're not really doing anything. The Riventusk, they're just doing their own thing. In fact, there are parts of the lower defense against the Horde, so there's a bunch of trolls who aren't interested in signing up. And yes, I do believe that seems to be it. I don't think there was anything major to talk about. After that, I think I've covered it all. So, at least the interesting bits, the parts that people would actually give a damn about. But yes, and then we have, of course, where we are, us. And our plans to, sort of take over the rest of this little pocket. But yes, that will be it for now. I hope you enjoy the state of the world as it is, and after the next episode, I might just make this a normal thing, that I will take the time to explore how the world has changed during episodes of the Crusader Kings, and just keep people informed so they can develop the alternative history of this world. And honestly, I do want to see what happens with Ironforge. It's just been a fun mess. But until next time, my name is Bright Ops, and I look forward to hearing from you.